Good morning. I'm in the kitchen today because most of today's video will take place in the kitchen. I posted a grocery shopping vlog and haul recently, and a lot of people were like, show us how you make your dog food, because I talked about how we make homemade dog food for our dogs. We don't do like the farmer's dog, but we kind of make our own because it's cheaper. And so a lot of people were asking for the recipe, so that's what today is going to be. I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to show you what I get and where I get it. It's really a pretty simple process. It's kind of like a long process. It just takes a lot of time because we use a slow cooker, but it works for us. We've been feeding our dogs homemade dog food for over a year, well over a year. I think maybe closer to a year and a half is how long we've been doing this. So it's working for us. We had to switch from kibble because they wouldn't eat their food, so we wanted them to eat something. So we started with like frozen chicken breasts and rice, I think is what we started with, just to get them to eat anything because they wouldn't eat anything. And then we started adding in other vegetables that are better for them, and so we now have kind of like a system down, and it's working for them. The vet says they're at a great weight. They don't have any health issues. And so I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not an animal health expert or an animal dietary expert, but I am a dog mom. And so I know what works for my girls. And so I know that they like the food that we're giving them. I know that it's better for them to eat something than nothing. And I like to know what's in their food. I like to know where it's been and what kind of junk is in there. And so this has really been working for us. So end of diatribe. I'm going to go shopping. You're gonna come with me. We're gonna get groceries to make dog food, and then we're gonna start the process. But I suppose I could also introduce you to our dogs. This is Smokey. We got her actually off of Craigslist. She was listed as a silver lab. We think she's more Weimaraner than anything. And this is how she spends most of her time, is flat on her side, doing nothing. And when she's not flat on her side in the house, she's flat on her side out in the yard. She loves baking in the sun. She loves to play. She has lots and lots of toys, but most of the time she's kind of like a slug. And this cutie patootie is Yogi. She is our 9-year-old. We got her from the ASPCA. Hi, honey. Hello. I call her my brown-eyed girl because she has brown eyes. Yogi suffers from anxiety, and she is terrified of thunderstorms and fireworks. So we've got two sort of larger dogs. I swear that one's alive. She's just not moving. But, so they're not little dogs, so they eat more than a little dog would. Of course, Smokey gets more food than Yogi does because she's a bigger girl. But I figured now is the perfect opportunity to introduce our girls. So there's Yogi. And there's Smokey. All right, I just pulled up to Aldi. I parked the car. I'm gonna go in. Actually, I'm gonna get my grocery cart with my quarter, and then I'm gonna go in and do some shopping. It's also worth mentioning, Aldi right now has a buy online, pick up curbside option. I haven't opted into this. I like to shop in the store and pick out my own produce, but I think that's really neat that they have that. I'm going to start right here with the baby peeled carrots. Next I need sweet potatoes. I'll usually use 2 bags of these potatoes, but I already have one at home, so I only need 1 of these today. And then I like to use frozen peas, and they're up there at the top. And they're only 99 cents a bag, and I'll get 4 of these. Right now in the cart I've got 5 sacks of carrots, 4 sacks of peas, 1 sack of potatoes, and then maybe some things I don't actually need. And then the very last thing I need to make dog food is chicken. And I will get 2 of the family packs, so I need 10 pounds of chicken. And the chicken here at Aldi is 99 cents a pound, and I think that's a really good price. All right, that's shopping done. And yes, I got some things that I didn't need for dog food, but I feel like I should have them. It's pumpkin spice whipped cream. Whatever, it's fine. So, okay. The chicken thighs that I got, one of them was $6.18 and the other one was $5.34. So usually it's about in the $5 range because they try to keep it in like $5 packs for those family packs. But it's 99 cents a pound for chicken here, and I really think that's a good deal. And it's been that way since we started making dog food. That's why we get our dog food at Aldi. We get the supplies to make the dog food from Aldi. The peas are 99 cents a bag, and I got 4 of them. And then the carrots are 89 cents a bag, and I got 5 of those. And I only got 1 sack of sweet potatoes, but we have one at home, so pretend I got 2, and they're $1.99 a piece. So I feel like it's really pretty cheap, and this is enough dog food to feed both of our dogs for 2 weeks. So if you had one large dog, this would feed one large dog for 4 weeks. So we make dog food every 2 weeks pretty regularly, and I'll show you that process when I get home. I'm going to turn the AC back on, drive home, and get this dog food started. I am back home now, and I just did the math, and the total that we spent on making this dog food is $23.91. I've laid everything out on the counter, so I have everything out now that I need to make the dog food. So I'm going to show you that right now. We have the carrots and peas, chicken, and potatoes, and you saw that I bought all this today. These things are things that I don't buy every time. We have tons of crock pots. We have so many crock pots. We have more crock pots than we should have, but we use them all. So this one is an 8 quart. I think that one's a 6 or 7. But I put the chicken in here, and I put the carrots in there. And then this is like bouillon, chicken bouillon. You could also purchase like chicken broth, or you could use water, but I will put a little bit of this in with the chicken and a little bit in with the carrots because it seems to make the flavor better. I always pan the inside of the crock pots, and then this is poultry seasoning. You could skip this if you want, but we like to treat our dogs like princesses. So that's what we use. I'm gonna set you up on a tripod now so you can watch this process. All right, I'm gonna start by setting the potatoes aside. I will bake these in the oven tomorrow and then cube them up into smaller bite-sized pieces. Sometimes we will switch the potatoes out for like butternut squash or some other kind of starch. We might use rice sometimes, but they really like the sweet potatoes. They really like the squash. They love the rice, but we've got the potatoes today. I think this is an 8 quart crock pot. I'm gonna plug that in first because I have forgotten before. I've forgotten to plug it in, and I've turned it on and walked away, and then nothing happened, so plug it in first. And then, ooh, this is almost empty. I'm pretty liberal with the pan, and then I like to sprinkle the bouillon on the bottom. Also, don't breathe in pan fumes. Since it's 10 pounds of chicken, I'm using about 3 tablespoons of the bouillon, and then now I'm gonna layer in the chicken and make it all fit in here. And once the chicken's in, I'm gonna fill it with water. Okay, now I'm halfway through. I've got half the chicken in. I'm gonna sprinkle on some poultry seasoning. Now I'm gonna take this to the sink, fill it with water. Okay, I said fill, kind of don't mean fill. There's still about an inch and a half before you get to the top, just because it does boil and it will bubble up, bubble over and out, sort of like a chicken volcano, and that's never fun to clean up. So that's the chicken done. I'm gonna turn it on to high, and once it's boiling, I'll let it boil for an hour or so, and then turn it off and let it rest until we're ready to dish up. I think that letting the broth cool, letting the chicken cool in the broth, I think is good for the chicken and the bones, because I think everything cools down and is still really juicy when you finally like shred it into the end product. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, so I have our next crock pot ready to go. I'm going to pan this one also, and then walk away. So after panning, I'm going to sprinkle in some chicken bouillon, just like I did with the chicken, and maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons here too. And then I will dump in all of the carrots. I bought 5 sacks of these baby carrots. I do the baby carrots because they cook faster than larger carrots, and it's just easier for me because there's no peeling or cutting involved. They're already ready to go, and they're really pretty cheap. Now I have all the carrots in. I'm going to fill this with water, but still leave some room at the top for like when it boils, and then turn this one on and let it go. I will add the peas to the carrots when they're still warm but not cooking. Smokey is picky and does not eat her peas. Well, okay, she does eat her peas, but she will pick her peas out and eat them last. I think because she doesn't like them. Most of the time she'll just walk away from them because she doesn't want them. It's fine, but she eats them better if they have been slightly cooked. So sometimes, like if we cook rice, we'll put the peas into the cooked rice while it's still warm, and then it kind of steams the peas, and she'll eat them better that way. But sometimes we'll stick them in with the carrots after they've cooked for a little while, and you know, when they're soft, and so we'll turn the carrots off, stir the peas in, and it's better. So I'm gonna fill this with water. All right. So that is the chicken and the carrots done. They're gonna cook for a while. The carrots I will let cook overnight. So I want them to be soft, and carrots cook forever. So the chicken I will bring to a boil and then boil it for an hour, and then I will turn it off and leave it in the crock pot and let it sit and cool completely. The carrots I will cook overnight. So I'm gonna end this part of today here. The peas I'm gonna put in the fridge because we'll use them tomorrow when the carrots are done. But I'm gonna leave these alone, let them cook, and then I will pick you guys up when it's time to do something else with these guys. Also, I just realized that I forgot to put poultry seasoning in on the carrots. Whoops. Okay. Now I'll pick you guys up tomorrow. So it's the next morning, and Yogi finished her breakfast. Smokey's a slow eater, and she's actually eating her peas this morning, so I'm really proud of her. We've got coffee started this morning. Okay, so we let the carrots, forgot what these were. We let these cook overnight. Carrots cook for a really long time, and the dogs prefer them to be soft. Sometimes I will even blend them up with like an immersion blender. So it's sort of like a carrot puree, carrot soup or something. And they really like that, I think. Mom's gonna take the chicken out of this crock pot and put it in the bowl. And there's still a bunch of chicken broth in here, and that's what we're gonna cook the sweet potatoes in.
The actual cook time is long, but the prep time is really short.
That's true, because there's not a whole lot we have to do with it once it's cooking. I'm just gonna dump them in there.
I do.
You dump them in there whole?
Mm-hmm. The potatoes usually cook in a couple of hours, just till they're fork tender. So it kind of depends on how cold that chicken broth is. But I like to turn those over so these on top will get down into that chicken broth. And you can always put more water in it to make it come up higher. But then you got all that liquid. And sometimes their suppers are kind of soupy.
Yeah.
But I'll cover this chicken with just some saran wrap.
Yep, because we will use that. Honestly, right now all we're waiting for is the potatoes to be done. So when the potatoes are done, we will turn the carrots off and then dish up the food. So we're having a really lazy Saturday morning, and this is Maleficent. Look how,
in her recliner.
yeah, look how comfy she is. We are about to finish the dog food because the potatoes are boiling. They're now fork tender. So the chicken has had a chance to finish cooling. They're done, so we're gonna mash the potatoes, and then we're gonna stir in the peas while the potatoes are still hot. And the peas will help cool down the potatoes, and the heat of the potatoes will kind of cook the peas just a little bit. And then we will start dishing up the food.
You can advertise the Pioneer Woman.
So now you're just cutting up the potatoes, right?
Yes.
Are you gonna mash them next?
Yes. I like to cut them because it seems like the skin can be a little leathery on these potatoes. But, you know, honestly, the dogs don't seem to mind that.
I didn't like the potato skin.
They never leave the potato skin. But I like when the potato skin isn't just one huge piece.
I would hate for them to choke on that.
Yeah.
So we have an old-fashioned potato masher. And we'll just mash it right in that juice. So we
Yeah.
cooked these potatoes in the same juice that the chicken cooked in. So the potatoes are now flavored like chicken broth. And these mash so easily. So now the potatoes are mostly mashed. We're gonna start dumping in the peas.
They just mash so easy.
And this will help cool down the potatoes and kind of cook the peas just a little bit, which makes Smokey more tempted to eat them.
Yeah, Smokey does not care for the peas and she will eat them last.
She sometimes picks out her peas and refuses to eat them. Apparently we have a picky eater. She's our baby. She behaves like a puppy.
A calm puppy.
Yeah, not an excited puppy. She'll have an energy burst for 5 or 6 minutes every evening about 6:30. And she'll want to play with one of her toys. And she's got a really cute Christmas tree toy that I think looks like a pickle. So I call it her pickle tree. All right, so now we are going to start the assembly line process. Mom has a stack of Tupperware over there. She's handing me one. I'm gonna put in a chunk of chicken and we'll set this aside. So we will get rid of all the chicken, one piece at a time, and that's how many dishes of food we will make is for the chunks of chicken. Usually it's about 2 weeks at a time for 10 pounds of chicken. And we just put this in regular Tupperware. We've tried doing Ziploc bags before and it works, but it's way more convenient to do Tupperware containers like this instead of Ziploc bags.
Technically it's not Tupperware.
No, this is Rubbermaid, not Tupperware. But I'm an old woman, according to Adam, and so I get to say what I want, and you know what I mean. And it's literally falling apart in this bowl.
That last one?
This is the last one. So I'm going to show you guys how we dish up one of these, and then I'm going to put you away because I don't want to get dog food all over my camera. And then that'll probably be the end of this video, but this is how we dish up one portion of dog food. So we've got a chunk of chicken in the Tupperware, and it looks like that. And I'm gonna shred it And you can do it with a fork or just like with these tongs. If you don't like feeding your dog bones, you can take the bone out. But I think since it's cooked in the juice and, you know, we put a little bit of this juice in there, once it's shredded, I think it's probably fine. So I'm going to just pour in just a little bit of that chicken juice. And next I need a spoon, measuring cup, scoop. Alright. So next I've got a measuring cup. I'm gonna get a scoop of the potatoes and peas and dump that on top. And then I'll get a scoop of carrots and carrot juice and dump that on top. And that is what we feed our dogs twice a day. So we will split this between both of them in the morning, and then we will feed them another one of these in the afternoon or evening about dinner time. And I know a lot of people are gonna say that I should take the bone out of this. Our dogs like the bone. I don't really care what you think. They don't have any dietary issues. They don't have any intestinal issues, so we're gonna continue to feed them this. We mix up the meat sometimes with breast meat and there are no bones in that, so they don't get bones all the time.
I think the bone meal is good for them, and I also think that because it's not a dried out bone.
Mm-hmm. It's not an old bone, it's a new bone that's been boiled in broth for a while. So anyway, that's how we make our dog food. If you hate it, don't come after me. You don't have to watch this food or this video, and you don't have to make this food for your dogs. There were people that asked how I made it. This is how we make it. So I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you hated it, that's fine too, but you guys will see me really soon.